If you would like more videos like this, consider joining my online library. It's only $15.99 per month, and you can cancel at any time. Here you'll get weekly uploads of new videos around pain management yoga, restorative yoga, Ashtanga yoga, chakra yoga, all sorts. So head to www.yogatraveleronline/membership to join. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We are gathered together today to do some low back pain relief. We'll take the idea of strengthening our back while stretching it out at the same time. So should feel great. Let's first connect with our breath. Close your eyes and just start to breathe in and out through your nose. Slow and steady breathing. It's always important to pay attention to our breath when we're doing yoga, especially when it's dealing with discomfort in our back, where we might have pain or aches or stiffness. We always want to tune in to what's happening just in our back. So if you need to change a position, feel free to do so. Good. Let's open our eyes. We'll start with a stretch right here at the beginning. And you'll notice at the end, we're going to repeat this again, but a little bit deeper so that we can see the difference and see how our body might have changed. Let's take our arms by our sides. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, drop your right hand down to your leg and take your left hand behind you. Pull that shoulder back and send your gaze behind. So this is anchoring our hips into the floor, and we're feeling that spiral at our low back, but also there's some upper back too as we pull our shoulder behind and send our gaze back. Good. Now come forward and let yourself just hang over your legs. Some of us might feel this mostly in the outer hip. I've got my left leg in front, so I'm feeling it in my left hip the most. You might feel it in whichever leg is in front. And there's this nice space between our hips in the low back, right at the sacrum. It feels beautiful to lay over the top and access that space there. Good. Walk your way up and let's switch the leg that's in front. We can get onto our other side. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. Exhale, twist to the other side. So you're going to take your left hand to the floor, right hand behind. Send your gaze back. Nice and tall through the spine. Feel again, starting at the hips, starting at the low back, and moving all the way up toward the shoulder, even into the neck. Good. Come forward. Let's roll over the top. Again, feeling our length through the sides of the body, and you might feel that outer hip the most. Some of us could feel both hips, and that's okay too. Everybody's going to be so different. Good. Now lift up. That was just a gentle little warm up. It might have felt tight. That's okay. We haven't done a whole lot of warming. Let's build some warmth into our body and see how things might change. So come to all fours. Face whatever direction is best for you. I'm going to go profile so that you can see what my body is doing. And let's just continue to gently warm our spine with cat and cow. Drop your belly down. Bring your shoulders back. Send your gaze up. Inhale. Exhale, round through the spine. We'll tuck our chin, bring our hips toward our center. Feel that lift throughout the entire spine. Inhale, arch, belly drops down, send the gaze up. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Once more, inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Good. Come back to neutral. Lift onto your toes and reach your hips up to the sky. Let's press back. We're in our first downward facing dog. If you are struggling with a lot of back pain, you could benefit from just being on your knees and reaching forward. So this is fine. Feel free to take that adjustment if you want. Some of us might be here, others on our knees. Good. And we do want to build up a little strength in our back and in our core. So let's just take this warming sequence. Come forward to a plank, and this first time, just drop your knees down to the mat. Even though our knees are in the mat, on the mat, we can feel our center still lifting. Engage the core there. Inhale, exhale, lower down, chaturanga, just halfway lift. Inhale, lift onto our hands. You might slide forward just a little bit to release the knees. And exhale, drop the knees back down and come to a child's pose. Good. Let's move through that sequence again. Start in down dog or puppy dog on your knees. So on your knees or lift up. Inhale and exhale. Come forward to plank. Inhale. Let's lower our knees. Exhale. Take another breath. Engage your center. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, sliding on those tops of the feet. Good, somebody liked that. Exhale, drop onto their knees, open up into a child's pose. Nice job. Sit back, take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to try it one more time. I'll show you an option to stay lifted off of the knees. So come up to down dog or puppy dog. Your starting position, whatever that is. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come forward to plank. Decide if you're going to stay here or drop your knees. Exhale. Take another breath. Inhale, feel strong at the center. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, now drop your knees, come to child's pose. So the only thing we changed was that we didn't drop to our knees in that chaturanga. They're both good. They're just different kind of strength building in the center, in our core. Beautiful. Now let's lift up to down dog or onto our knees in puppy dog and walk our way toward our hands. Good. Grab one of your blocks. Put it down on the floor, whatever height you like. I'm going to keep mine mid-height just so I can put my hands on both edges. But if you need it higher, take it higher. And you could also just do it lower if you want as well. We're going to be kind to our back. So go ahead and bend your knees and just let your torso rest on your thighs. This is a really supported position for our back because we're supporting our front so that we can lengthen out our back. Now slowly start to straighten your knees. You might mostly feel this in your hamstrings. We've got the block on the floor. If you need to raise it, fine. Try to get your knees as straight as you can. Take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale, melt it back down. Feel that relief both in the hamstrings and in the back. Inhale, straighten out. Exhale, bend it down. One more. Inhale, straighten out. Exhale, bend it down. Good. Now keep it bent. Let's remove the block and roll up through our spine. We're going to add that same feeling, but combine it with a little bit of our vinyasa. So just from standing, follow along, you'll see what I mean. Reach your arms up to the sky. Inhale, lift. Exhale, let's bend our knees. Here we go. Down into that same position where we rest our torso on our thighs, feeling very supported with our back. Bring your hands to your shins and straighten out the legs. There's the hamstrings. Now lift your center. Feel that lift at the center so that your back is lengthening and it's very supported. Exhale, fold back down like we're melting into our legs. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach up to the sky. Exhale, Samastiti, arms by our sides. Good. Let's do it again. We're just going to change one thing. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften on the way down. Support yourself. Support that back. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Halfway lift. This time, keep your legs straight. Exhale, fold down. Ooh, we feel that in the hamstrings, yes? Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach up to the sky. And exhale, Samastiti, arms by your sides. Good. Now let's add the standing portion of our vinyasa with the kneeling portion of our vinyasa. Follow along. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, hands down, step back to plank. Feel free to drop to your knees here. Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Let's do that child's pose again. Exhale, drop your knees, let them open a little wider, and sit back. Child's pose. Good. We combined the two elements together to make a nice, gentle flow, and hopefully your body is starting to warm just a little bit. Very nice. Lift up to all fours, and let's step our right foot forward in between our hands. And go ahead and bring your hands onto that right knee. Now, before we go any deeper, let's get our alignment. Our knees should be stacked on top of our ankle, not pressing forward because we'll put too much pressure on the knee. A lot of times, back pain can come from hips. We don't know where it might originate from. Everybody's different, I mean. So let's just gently press into our knee, pushing forward. You could feel this through the hip flexor on that left side, and then you can squeeze that right hip. Now, if you feel like going deeper, you've got two blocks and you can bring your hands down to the floor. That's going to give you even more in the hip flexor. You can do it without blocks. Everybody's flexibility is so different as we're working through our hips. Good. Now, let's change it just a little bit. I'm going to bring my blocks back just to demonstrate. We'll lift onto our left foot, step it forward so you can put the heel on the ground, and then straighten this right knee. Here's where you might need your blocks. If you can't reach the floor with your hands and keep your right knee straight, please grab some blocks. If you only have one, you might bring it to the middle. If you don't have any, keep your hands on your legs. Don't try to reach for the floor unless you can keep your knees straight. So this is definitely targeting that right hamstring, and we're folding forward over our leg to build some length through the low back. Take one more breath right here. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your right knee. Drop the left knee down to the floor. Keep the left hand on the floor and reach your right arm up to the sky. A nice twist for our spine. We're involving low back, mid back, even the upper back as we reach that arm. If it's too much, hand to the hip is just fine. Good. Inhale. Exhale, place that right hand down, step your right foot back, and let's reach our arms forward and stretch out our torso. Press down with your shoulders. Feel this in the upper back. Kind of arches our back a little bit, stretches right across those shoulder blades. Good. Inhale, lift up, and step your left foot forward. Back to the other side. Same setup. Knee lined up with the arch of the foot. First level is to press forward with the hands. Next level might be to grab two blocks and go a little bit deeper. Last level is to have your hands on the ground. Pay attention to your body and what you can do. We're pressing deeply into these hips. Feel it in that left hip and the length through the right hip flexor. Good. Pressing down to open up. Open up that space right in between our hips where we could have the start of some back tenderness. Good. Now here's our change. Grab the blocks again. Lift up onto the right foot. Press your heel to the ground. Straighten out that left knee. Utilize blocks. If you're flexible enough to reach the floor, then go for it. Just don't bend this leg. Don't sacrifice the quality of the stretch in order to get to the floor. Remember, hands on the legs are fine if you don't have a block today. Stretch out that hamstring. Feel that length through the back. Good. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your left knee. Drop your right knee down to the floor. Right hand stays on the floor. Inhale, lift that left arm up. Feel that stretch. We're pulling our hips toward each other, guiding that left hip back and feeling the reach through the torso, the arms, the chest, all into the low back. Very nice. Good. Release the hands down to the mat. Let's set the blocks off to the side. Step back. Take your knees a little bit wider than your hips, so almost like we're going to go into a child's pose. And then bring your hands forward of your shoulders just a little bit. Come forward. Press those hips down. Feel that squeeze in the low back, a little pressure on the sacrum. And shift back into a child's pose. Inhale, come forward, pressing those hips forward and through, down toward the mat. They're not going to touch, but they're just reaching. Exhale, press back. Let's do it once more. Inhale, come forward, rocking out the pressure through the body. And exhale, place it back. Shift it back. Ease into that child's pose. See if you notice any difference in the low back from when we just started. Good. Let's lift up. We're going to stay on our knees once more. If you need to put a blanket under you, that's perfectly fine. Let's do a little back strengthening before we stand up and do one last back stretch standing. So this is Ustrasana. We'll take fists to our back, pull our shoulders behind toward each other, and let your body shift forward. So I'm pressing forward with my fists and letting my head drop back. This is squeezing the muscles in our low back while we stretch out the front of the body. It's a good balance for all of the forward bending that we've been doing. We do need to also build flexibility in both ways. Good. Inhale, come up. Drop your hands down, drop your head down. You might feel a little dizzy. There's a bit of a head rush in a pose like that. And let's perhaps go deeper. If you felt very comfortable with fists on your back and you know that's where you want to stay, that's excellent. If you would prefer, you might try lifting onto your toes. So my hips are a little bit higher. My heels are a little bit higher. And maybe this time I will reach back for my heels and press my chest forward. Now, if you know that you can go all the way, you can relax those feet and try it once more into that back bend. Good. Whatever position you're doing, keep breathing. Keep shifting your hips forward so that you continue to squeeze into the low back. Pay attention to your body and your breath. Be mindful here. Good. Let's lift up. Ooh, beautiful. Pull your shoulders toward each other. Let the head drop down. We're going to step up onto our feet and into a forward bend. Soften your knees and fold forward. Now, how nice is it to fold down and feel that back lengthen? Pretty nice. Roll up through our spine. Let your shoulders lift and guide them back behind you. Clasp them together. Press into the fingers and just look up. A little upper back squeeze, similar to how we were doing. Don't worry, we're going to balance it out with our next forward bend. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Nice job. Release your hands. Reach them up. Inhale. And exhale, bring them down. Nice job. Turn yourself so that you are in a wide V. Face whatever direction is best for you and grab one block, have it down in the middle. You may or may not use it. This is a beautiful forward bend. We'll incorporate a little bit of a twist so we get low back, sacrum, and upper back at the same time. Let's take a breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands down. Start at the block. If you feel like you're able to keep your knees straight, then you might release the block and walk further forward. So I'll show you. Our hands might line up with our feet, but only if you can keep your knees straight. Don't let them bend, because then you're going to lose that hamstring stretch there. Press into the floor or the block. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold down. Shift a little bit of a weight toward your toes. This is Prasarita Padottanasana A. And it's a wonderful back stretch because our hips are spread apart, so we're creating all this space in our sacrum. Plus, we're getting those hamstrings again, which could contribute to back pain. And we're just letting our upper body hang. So relax your neck. Relax your jaw. Feel that release. Good. Take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, walk your hands forward. If you're using a block, bring it with you and have it right underneath your shoulders. My arms are really long, so I'm not going to use a block, but feel free to do so. Let's take our right arm, inhale, reach it up to the sky. Feel that squeeze through our upper back. If that's too much of a reach, hand to the hip is fine. Just draw your shoulder up there. Good. So upper back, lower back. There's this lovely little pull in our left hamstring. That feels nice. Inhale. Exhale, place that right hand down. Other side. Inhale, lift the left arm up to the sky. Unfurling, reaching, and squeezing that shoulder to the sky. Remember our modification? Hand to the hip is fine, or it's up. Whatever you can do. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, hand down to the mat. Press into the mat, look up, halfway lift. Bring your hands to your waist. Inhale, lift up. Nice job. Step your feet together. I'm going to move this block out of the way. We'll take our vinyasa one last time, bring us to the floor so that we can repeat the stretches from the beginning, just make them a little deeper. Here we go. Inhale, reach our arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Bend your knees if you need to, right? That was an option for us. Inhale, hands to the shins. Try to straighten your knees now. Exhale, hands down. Step back to plank. Drop your knees or stay lifted. Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. For our purposes today, we're coming to child's pose. Drop the knees. Child's pose, kind of a little modification for us. Feel free to stay here in child's pose if this feels lovely on your back. If you would like to lift into one last downward facing dog, please do so. This is your practice. Make it your own. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Bend your knees, come forward, step, hop, or walk through. If you're in child's pose, inch around and have a seat. Nicely done. Good. Now, to repeat the poses that we did at the beginning, but we're going to deepen them just a little bit. So let's start with our left leg on the bottom and the right leg on the top, just so that we all have the same. So this leg is lifted, the foot is over by the knee. This is Ardha Matsyendrasana. Let's extend our left arm. Inhale. Exhale. Hook it onto your knee, or you can hug. That works too. Right hand to the floor. Sit tall and pull that shoulder back. Now, last time we did this pose, right at the beginning, we were sitting crisscross. This position with the leg up over in front of our torso really is just a little bit deeper for our digestion. We can really rotate through our center. I like the image of a dish rag, just wringing out that dish rag, getting all the toxins and tension out of our back and out of our spine. Good. Inhale, come forward. Nice job. Exhale, unhook this foot and lay the knees on top of each other. Now, some of us, this might be very intense and you won't like it. So in that case, just go ahead and lay it down, leg in front, crisscross like we did at the beginning of class. Either crisscross or this is Gomukhasana legs. We're just going to focus on the bottom half today because I want our torso to activate as we fold forward. So we're just going to allow the torso to lay on top of the pile of legs, and you will feel it in the right hip. Unless you're really flexible, then good for you. I'm feeling it in my right hip as I fold forward. There's also that beautiful space in the sacrum, in the low back. Love how that feels. Good. Inhale, lift up. Nice job, everyone. Exhale, switch legs. So this right leg's going to go on the bottom and the left foot will come on top or over the top of that right knee for Ardha Matsyendrasana. Extend your right arm, inhale. Exhale, hook it on or hug the leg, left hand to the floor, press against your leg and pull that shoulder back. Feel the beautiful spiral along your spine and that really deep lifting and squeezing through our center. So you can activate low back, you can activate digestive system, you can work on your upper back as you pull the shoulder behind. There's so many wonderful things that are being felt here. Good. Inhale, come forward. Very nice. Let's lay those legs down on top of each other. Remember, if this is too much, it's fine. Just crisscross. Make sure your left leg is in front. Choose your method. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. And with this pose, we have repeated what we did at the beginning. We've just deepened it because our hips are warmer. Our back is warmer. We're more connected to our breath. So just try to think back how you felt at the beginning of our practice together and how maybe it feels now. Does it seem to be different? Sometimes it's nice to compare and notice the changes that can happen in our bodies. Good. Inhale, lift up. Nice job. Exhale, unwind your legs. Let's come to the floor. Grab your strap. Lay yourself down. Let's take the strap around our feet and we'll extend the legs up to the sky. Now this should feel really nice on the low back. You see I'm shifting a little bit. I'm getting my hips aligned. I can feel the entire curve of my spine pressing into the mat. That's because we're pulling our legs toward our center, which presses that curve of the spine down. Now, your legs are going to be in a different position than mine, perhaps. Some of us might be back here a little bit. Find your happy place where you can keep your knees straight. If it's really too much and it hurts your back, feel free to take a little soft bend. Just know that you will not get as much stretch in the hamstrings. But that's okay, because if you're focusing on your back and you're bending your knees, then you're doing a beautiful thing for your body. So take it as you can. This is just one last stretch, getting us on the floor so that we can feel our back connected. One last time to lengthen out those hamstrings just a little. Pull on the back of the hips just a little. Good. Take one more breath right here. Inhale. Exhale. Nice job. Bend your knees. Let's remove the strap and either grab the arches of your feet or your knees. Take your legs open and press downward. Happy baby. I like to just hold it for a few breaths before I start moving. It feels really great on the hips, hip flexors, and it spreads the sacrum so nicely in that low back. If you want to start moving, go for it. That feels good too. Kind of rocking things out. Feels nice. Good. Now bring your knees into your chest, hugging them in, Once again, this presses the curve of the spine to the floor, can release pressure, just this simple movement. And let's finish off with a gentle spinal twist. Take your arms out to a T, palms on the floor, and just let your legs drop over to the right. Turn your gaze to the left. I'm going to actually rotate my palms to the sky. My shoulders were just fighting a little bit, so if your shoulders are fighting, turn your palms to the sky. You can even use this left hand if you'd like to press the legs down. If that's too much pressure, just don't. One more chance to stretch through our upper chest, upper back, spiral our spine. Feel the outer hip one more time. Good. Bring your legs back through the center and let them fall to the other side there, and turn your gaze. Maybe use your hand, whatever you want to do. I'm going to keep mine out. I like my palms to the sky. If that feels good on your shoulders, do the same. And just try to let your body relax into this twist. Each breath releases a little bit more tension, a little bit more strain. Take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and stretch your legs out. We have been waiting this whole time to use our bolster here. Let's grab it. If you have one, take it underneath your knees. So I'm just going to slide it under. Just gives a little cushion to our back. So gently lifts the knees and takes some pressure off the low back. And then we'll just let our arms come off to the side. If you feel like you'd prefer to have a blanket over the top of you, go ahead and place some layers on. And this is your time to rest and take in all of the good work that we've done together. Hopefully the back feels warm and stronger and more stretched. And hopefully release of some pain and discomfort there. I'm going to let you stay in this calming position for a few moments, and I will wake you up with the sound of the bell. So just enjoy a little peace and quiet. Start to wake yourself up. Rotate through your wrists and your ankles. Point and flex your feet. Stretch your arms overhead to lengthen through your entire body. You can slide that pillow out from under your legs and just roll onto one side in fetal pose. And gently press up to a comfortable seated position. And bring your hands to heart center. You can sit on your pillow, on a block, or just on the floor. But I'd like to leave you with this quote to send you through the rest of your week. We only have control over 2 moments in our life, here and now. Thank you so much for being with me here and now. Namaste.